lock grips for the Walther PDP steel frame. So I went ahead and unboxed it. All that really came in the box was the grips themselves, a little bit of protective packaging, and then some pins that actually go inside of the grip panels themselves to help with alignment. So like whenever you're doing anything with a firearm, you want to make sure that there's no ammunition nearby. You want to make sure there's nothing in the firearm. Visually inspect, physically inspect if you feel better that way. So we're going to go ahead and strip this down real quick. And just like a Glock, unlike the ATF director or special agent or yeah, you have to squeeze the trigger for the upper to be removed. So now we're going to take a 2mm Allen wrench. And we're just going to go ahead and remove the panels themselves. I like to just break them free, get a couple of good turns real quick, and then we'll switch over to the other side of the Allen wrench. We have that one removed. I'll get this one here. Now, underneath of these grip panels, there are some plastic guide rails which help for magazines to slide more freely from the inside of the mag well, or magazine chamber, however you want to call it. I like to keep those separate so that way I put the same ones back in the same holes. This should be the proper, the same thread pattern on either one, but, and then the Walther grip cover is a single piece, whereas the lock grips are two pieces. And if you move your hand out of the way, you can see there's those plastic guide rails, and there's some on this side as well. They just slide right into the slot. They're omnidirectional, so you can put them upside down and right side up, but they do have a front and a back. See that groove right there? That groove goes inside of the actual groove in the grip itself. So now we're going to take and insert our little pins here into the grip panels. And I like to take and put a little bit of thread locker. It's pretty much the same thing as Loctite, but not quite as expensive. With this kind here, you have to pop that open. Now you got a squeeze bottle. Set that aside for when we get ready to put the screws back in. So those pins that I was just talking about go into these little slots right here. Make sure they seat all the way down in there good and firm. And now you can actually take and put one side on and screw it on and put the other side on, or you can stick it together and it slides over. I usually find that's a little bit more difficult just because it doesn't want to stay in place properly when you're doing that. And for putting Loctite on, I like to take and put the screw on the Allen wrench. Then take and put a little bit of the thread locker all the way around on the threads. Now, I'm planning on leaving these grip panels on here permanently. It's not really necessary to remove them to clean it. So, go ahead and put a little bit of Loctite on there. But if you put thread locker on something and you want to take it off later on down the road, you will have to heat that surface up. So you can actually take like a soldering iron or a wood burning tool and just hold it down on the head of the screw for a few seconds. about 30 seconds till it heats up the screw, and then when you unscrew it, that thread locker will let go a little bit easier. There's the one side. Just flip it over. You can see the channels where these little plastic guide rails go in. Just make sure you got them slid into place good. And now you want to line up those pegs with the hole that's in the grip itself. Same thing with the other side. I set my screws top and bottoms and then separate the different sides so that way the screw that came out of the hole is the screw that goes back in the hole. I will deep to the rounding. Make sure we got the thread in there straight. These are some really fine threads, so you don't want to strip them or cross thread it. So to help line it up, if you take and you backspin the screw before trying to tighten it in, it can help line it up. You'll actually feel it click over the thread itself, and that's when you know that you've got it. Your thread pitches lined back up. And you don't really need to have a torque wrench or torque them down to get any kind of real spec out of it. Just good finger tight's usually pretty well enough. There's the lock grips installed. Function check. Sounds good. Sounds good. Looks good. And we already know it works good. Thank you all very much for spending some time with me. I greatly appreciate you. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Help me get out there. I really appreciate every view I get from y'all. You know, if there's something that you want to see in the future, please shout out to me. Let me know what it is. You know, we can do more installations, more reviews, or we could blow something up. But it's all in what you guys want. So any kind of feedback you can give me, I would greatly appreciate you. And as always, all for gun, gun for all.